All right, back for another day. What up, Paul? Good morning. So we had CPI last night. So yesterday I ended up taking a payout from this account for it's like 1150. So it left me with 1150 in the balance. Good morning, Chuzzy. And last night I took a short at CME Open when Asia started to open. So we made 700 on a short. Let me see if I could find it on my screen. On this one right here, after right here, CME Open, we shorted that after we gapped up a little bit, and then we took it lower, and then the balance is now at 1856. So a little bit of room back inside of this account after we took a payout. That's from last night. So we got to focus on this account today, and also got to focus on this account today. So we got to build the balance a little bit more. Got to get a payout with those two accounts. In terms of what I'm looking at today, we are coming back up to retrace some of this move here. So realistically, I do want to see how. Let's see. I do want to see how I do think we're going to come lower, basically. I think we're going to retrace into some of the, at least some of the news pump. Now, we may not, but it's kind of, we've been kind of doing the same thing all week, right? Where we pump up, and then I'm expecting New York to retrace. Now, ultimately, if we can stay below, if the hourly and the 4 hour here in about 53 minutes or 43 minutes closes below like 250 and doesn't blast through it and have a strong close, then I would be looking for us to continue our move down. But of course, if we kind of retrace into this area here this morning, and then we pop back up, and then we have the hourly and the 4 hour close, above 250, and it's looking pretty bullish with a lot of bullish momentum, then I'm not going to be looking for us to come lower again. I'm actually going to be looking for us to come up probably to 360 area, right around 360. So 100 points higher at the very minimum, so like somewhere up here. So I guess I gotta wait and see, and we're just gonna try and follow some pressure today. But if you were to look at like if we take a look at this, right, and we're looking at the 4 hour, realistically this is a pretty strong 4 hour, although there's still some time left in it, and especially at New York Open, if we whip down, then it's going to end up causing a pretty big wick. But the ultimate, for going lower, the ultimate draw for me is right here around 850, these lows. But if this 4 hour and the 1 hour starts closing very bullish right at that 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. candle, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, then I'm going to be looking for us to go higher, a little higher. So we'll have to wait and see. We are approaching, we are getting into the premium of the range that we created on the way down. So if this is the swing high and this is the swing low, we're approaching premium. So if we were to continue down, we would probably be doing it pretty soon here. Potentially a push up at open and then come down. But if that doesn't happen, I'm going to have to wait this morning and be a little bit more careful because it's not as clear as the other days, especially with CPI, where we just pumped up like that. So we're just going to have to wait. We got 10 minutes. But I hope everyone's morning is good. These white lines on the side, that is not necessarily heat map. Heat map is where you see like these my apologies. Heat map is where you see these bands of like red or yellow. The white is the white right here, or my bad, you can't see that. I'm going to extend this a little bit. So this is what you would consider to be the heat map, right? So if we zoom in, you can see bands of what is called heat. So if you're seeing it, I know you can't really see my cursor for whatever reason, but you can't really, it's pretty thin right now. So, okay, that's better. So that is the heat map. The white stuff right here is the depth of market. So it's basically the DOM, or it shows you where resting liquidity is sitting, or passive limit orders. Now those limit orders can be buys or sells, either or. And then, you know, depending on how many orders are sitting there, it creates a band of heat, essentially. Yeah, we're going to hope that Top Step doesn't mess up again, but I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. I do want to see, I think there might be a potential that we, what's up FP? There might be a potential we come down at the open. But I don't really want to take it. But we might. I might. Yeah, hopefully it's a good morning. Hopefully no issues with Project X. Hopefully we can make some progress here on both of our funded accounts. We are already up 700 on this funded account. This is the one we took the payout on yesterday. This is from a trade last night during Asia. So if we can have a green day, it would be nice. It'd be nice. Yeah, 350. I wouldn't be surprised if we head up towards the 350, 360 area. That's a level I'm looking at too. Man, my throat's really dry today. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. Oh yeah, and just for full transparency, I did have three Top Step funded accounts. The one that had a $500 balance, yesterday after I got off the stream, I ended up full porting it and I blew it, so that one's gone. But it's okay. We still got 3. We went from 4 to 3. I do need to work on some more combines, but before I do that, I want to focus a little bit on these accounts. No, I don't trade full time. I have I'm self-employed. I do some other stuff too. So at least it allows me the opportunity to sit here at my computer. So I can look at the charts all day. In terms of a combine, I wouldn't recommend you copy trade them. Well, I don't copy trade them because of the way that I trade combines. Because when I'm trading combines, I'm trying to pass them in 2 trades. So I'm essentially full porting them, right? So if you're full porting evaluations, then it's not a good idea to copy trade them. Unless you just don't care, then you can do that too. But my thing is like this, right? I trade them 1 by 1 because if I blow a couple combines, it's not a big deal. You know, if I buy a combine, there's realistically like a 60 to 70% chance if I full port it that I'm gonna pass it. So I do it 1 by 1 just to make sure that if I buy 3 of them, I'm for sure gonna get 1 funded account. And then if I get a payout on that 1 funded account, then it makes up for all the fees I paid for the other blown accounts. So like even that 1 payout I took yesterday, right? So the payout I took yesterday really wasn't a big payout. It was, you know, only $1,150, and then after Top Step takes their percentage, it made it so it was like $1,000. But I had, prior to that, no payouts, right? But like $700 in prop firm fees, and that applies for basically the activation fee, because 1 of them was an activation, 2 of them were no activation, and then also this account, and then the other account that I had, the combine, which I blew it. So there was like 4 blown accounts, or maybe 5 blown accounts this month, 4 or 5, and 1 small payout covered all of that. And now we got, you know, 3 funded accounts that have a little bit of a balance. But if we can pull a payout on this account, then it's gonna put us even more in profit. So I would say, you know, right now, if we took $1,000 in payouts, and you know, we had $700 in fees, you can say, you know, net positive, but not really because taxes. So we're basically like break even, roughly break even on the month right now for prop firms. But the good thing is that we're break even and we got funded accounts. This one's let me see, 3 days in, so 2 more days on this and we can pull a payout. All right, so I'm gonna be watching this right now. I don't necessarily full port them at open. What I do is, like, when I'm full porting a evaluation, it depends what firm it is, but like if it's a Top Step account and I have $2,000 of drawdown and I'm trying to make $1,500, then I'll usually risk like $1,000 per trade. So I'll go like 3 to 5 minis. I'll risk $1,000 on the trade, and I'll try and just catch like 60 to 100 ticks, which is pretty easy to do. And then if it's a different firm like Alpha Futures, then it's a little different because they have a daily loss limit. So the way that you would try and pass that and full port it in one day is because it's end of day drawdown. You would essentially start out with like 1 mini or 2 minis, try and make like, you know, 500, 1,000, 1,500, and then you would just use the buffer that you created on the day as more drawdown to then really full port it. So let's see what the open does right now, whether we're going to come up and take these orders at 300 and push higher, or if we're going to push back down into the into this move, the news move. $2K for Ultra. Yeah, I haven't even looked at their plans, to be honest. Because they changed it, like I said yesterday. So we're pushing higher right now, so I'd like to see this probably come up to that 350, 360 area if buying pressure wants to continue here. Also, we do have a volume profile set. There's a POC sitting up here for the range. I think it's like right here. Just so you guys can see what I'm looking at on my other screen. So I'm just gonna wait. But I'm not really gonna be, I'm just understanding where we're at right now in the previous range, but I am going to not look to try and take any type of shorts in this area. Delta is negative, but price is still moving up. Are you talking about cumulative delta or the delta on this 5 minute? Because it's positive right now. I need to make sure that there's no news coming. Okay, we should be good. Yeah, delta, but there's you're talking about for this 5 minute candle, or you? Because I mean, like which delta? The delta for a 5 minute, delta for a 15 minute, delta for cumulative delta. So we started coming up here into, let me see, the premium right here. If we close with this up here like this, I'm probably going to try and take a short, honestly. With the stop loss is going to be kind of large. 15 minute. Yeah, it's pretty even right now. On my screen it's showing it's at like 200. So I want to see how this 5 minutes going to close. We may try and take a short down into probably target maybe 200. But I have to see how this 5 minutes is going to close first. So we have 10 seconds. I'm waiting for this 5 minute candle to close, and if we can close bearish, I may look for a short opportunity. Nothing huge, but just to take it down into maybe the 200 level. But I wanted it to retrace up higher to have a smaller stop loss, because right now the stop loss would be kind of too large. So if it just absolutely melts right here, just from here, then realistically, probably not gonna get in on this, but the POC also was up here and now it moved to right here, so. I'll give it a shot.
Order filled.
We'll go 5 micros on the shorts. Probably just going to target these lows here for about 400, and stop's going to be at the top of the 5-minute candle. This may snap back though, so it's the only thing. Because realistically, like, to have a better risk to reward where we wouldn't just like get screwed like this, I wanted it to retrace higher, but there is a chance that we just melt here, so I want to give it the opportunity to try and melt. If it doesn't do it and we just pop back up, so be it. You know, we'll be down 200 on the day. It's not a big deal. I was expecting this to flush, but, or like have more aggression, but it's kind of stalling out here, which is not good. Yeah, this is coming back. This might be coming back. Oh, whoops. This isn't a good sign. We didn't have the best entry either, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I would like to see, what I'm really trying to see is this 1 hour start to flip bearish. Alright, so at this point we're starting to get the selling pressure that I was looking for. I'm going to be moving my stop to break even. And we're going to try and let it ride to these lows. I'm trying to see this 1 hour flip, basically flip bearish. I think I could actually put this a little lower, probably to 206. And instead I'll trail my stop now that we took the lows.
Order filled.
Alright, cool. So we ended up, this may go lower, but just to try and take the money off the table, got out of that. Plus this is the 4th day, so we just need one more day for a payout now with this account. Alright, chill. So, a little bit of why I took that trade, just so you guys know, I guess, is because when we popped up here at market open, we had a large buyer step in. If we were going to push higher, then realistically, we took the orders at 300. We should have actually continued the momentum to at least come up here to 350 or 360 when this 5-minute candle ended up flipping to the downside and there was no continuation of buyers, and we were in a premium of the range that we created yesterday on the move down. Then what I wanted to see was for this 5-minute candle to open up and retrace a little bit for me to then enter short with a better stop loss. But we ended up catching kind of a late entry, and it ended up working out. So that was like almost 50 points. I think maybe 45 points or like 180 ticks or something. And now we wait. So now we're up 450 on this account. We're up 687 on this account. And I think I'm going to try and focus now on this account. So what we're looking at now is it's going to be really important how this 1 hour is going to close. So realistically, if this 1 hour closes like this, then I think that we actually are going to potentially continue down all the way to here. If you guys can see this, this is like a volume imbalance right here, which was created from the news candle. It just like shot up immediately. The only thing that you would be looking for or trying to keep in mind when, if you are like, let's say we were short and we were targeting this, the only thing to keep in mind is just like this area right here where obviously buyers stepped in. There is a possibility that we come down into this area and bounce back up a bit. This is pretty decent selling pressure, so it's probably likely that if this hourly candle does close like this, that we could probably see us come down to 110, 115. But we're just gonna have to wait right now. And we'll see if we can make some money on the alpha account. The alpha account, I do need to probably size a little heavier, like a mini or 2 minis. Did anybody else take a short here, or are we just waiting? Yeah, you got to be careful in this area. That's why I ended up getting out about 205, just because it definitely could continue down, but it's always better to start the morning in green. And then also I was mentioning the indicator that I made yesterday. Another reason why, or I didn't make it yesterday, but yesterday I mentioned an indicator that I made. And another reason why I took short was not only were we in premium of the range, but let me show you guys something. We were in here, we were in this area, and this is like basically a confluence for me where this is the indicator I mentioned yesterday, where it's doing like basically the up projections and down projections away from Asia session. So it's unlikely that obviously we're going to open up at, like, most days it is pretty unlikely that Asia opens and then we pump, and then London opens, we pump, and then New York opens, and then we just pump and pump and pump. Like, there's very rare instances where we have all 3 sessions just pump. Now they may all close bullish, that happens, but when you have a large move overnight, especially after like a consolidation, sometimes we need to kind of rebalance this a little bit. So this literally happened on Monday, Wednesday, and today. So it's the same thing that we did basically this whole week. Monday we pumped like this, and I said at market open we should be coming down. Tuesday we kind of consolidated. I didn't really have a bias. Wednesday, yesterday, we did the same thing. We pumped all night, and then I said New York should probably come down. And then again today, the same thing. We pumped all night. New York is now retracing. The only difference about yesterday and today, which I would be pretty surprised. I mean, it'd be pretty cool, but I'd be pretty surprised if we actually melted again. Like another 500 points to the downside. That'd be pretty insane. It's possible, but I do need to see what's happening with Top Step. What's going on, Paul? What's going on with Top Step? Let me know so I don't screw myself. I gotta see how this 1 hour is gonna close, realistically. It's freezing. Yeah, I mean, if there's still issues with Top Step, it's just happening so much. Like, thank God Alpha Futures allows me to choose. The problem with Top Step, right, is they don't allow you to choose. They force you to use that platform. At least Alpha Futures will let me use like a NinjaTrader connection, and then I can actually connect it to my ATAS. So I think that's the route I'm gonna go. Also because Alpha Futures is like very similar rules, if not basically the same rules, depending on the account you get, as Top Step. So if you get an Alpha Futures account and you want to support the live streams, use code Thrax. Or if you want a free Alpha Futures account, sometimes we give them away in the Discord, so just join the Discord. But it just depends whenever they give me accounts to give away to the community. It's been a little bit more quiet in terms of giveaways this month, but last month we were giving them out. Alright, so let's see if this selling pressure wants to continue here. It was the new 15-minute open. This 5 minutes is the new 15-minute open. Unfortunately, this Alpha Futures funded account that I have is currently on Project X, so if there are issues happening right now, which I don't see any on my end, but if there are issues happening, I might get screwed. Selling pressure looks like it wants to continue. We may come down to... Oh, well, we're already doing it now, but we're probably going to go to 150, and then I'll have to see what happens around 150, 140. This hourly candle is going to be closing pretty bearish though. We're gonna come up and let's see what happens when we retest this POC. I think I may attempt a short to continue this. Although it is gonna require a pretty large stop loss, so we're gonna risk like, I don't know. It's gotta be above the POC, so. If the POC is sitting here at, let's just say 210, we gotta give it some room. And then we're gonna target at least 150. If this is gonna continue, it needs to actually happen pretty quickly. Otherwise, this might pop up and take us out. Alright, it's really important that we don't get above this POC or I'm going to actually get cooked on this trade. So now that we came up here, and if we start coming down and flipping bearish again, I'm going to have to move to break even. So we're going to hope that this respects this POC. If we flip bearish, I'm going to move to break even. If we don't, we're just going to, if we break past this right now, some buying pressure, I'm going to get taken out. Yeah, we may be coming up for 220. You're right. But we can take the L. Let's see if we just got lucky. There's a very high chance I get stopped out of this. We went a little bit in profit, but it wasn't enough for me to feel comfortable moving to break even. I wanted to give it a little bit of room. But we're gonna get stopped out right now. Alright. So we took an L on this account. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna wait. Buyers are stepping in. Let's see if they can continue or not. If I lose another trade on this account, I'm just gonna stop. Yesterday I made 2,000 on this account. We gotta try and make like at least $1,000 on this account today. Because honestly, with the consistency rule, I do have to get this balance up to like $5,000, so. And then something else to notice too is that the hourly candle is back to being a bullish candle. It's not a very strong bullish candle, but nonetheless it is bullish. And we have about 6 minutes left in it. Let me lock out of these accounts so I don't mess them up. So let's see if we respect this area and pop back up. Right here, between the POC and the large buy order. Until we start coming down here again, shorts are now off the table. For me. And I am going to have to wait for the new hourly candle because I need to see essentially how this hourly candle is going to close. And then it's also the new 4 hour too, so that's important. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Yeah. So earlier today when I mentioned what I was looking for, if this hourly or this 4 hour do start closing above, you know, let's just say 250, 260 area, and it's looking pretty strong. The 1 hour is not looking that strong, but the 4 hour is looking pretty strong. So if we do start to close up there in the next like 4 or 5 minutes or whatever, 4 minutes, and this flips bullish and closes up here, then I may be looking for longs. But I gotta wait. Because what I don't want to get caught in right now is a chop. So we gotta make sure that the move, if there is going to be a move to the upside, that it's a real move and we're not just popping up and then coming down and then popping up and then breaking out later. $196. How far in profit did I go on that trade I took an L on? 196.25. It went like 100 ticks in profit. I probably should have moved it to break even, but it's okay. Alright, this is a pretty strong indicator we're going higher. So now what I'm thinking is, again, the 350, 360 area. Do the big trade values give you a reason to take a trade in the direction where there was a huge candle? So it's not necessarily that like I see a large buy order and I think, oh, we're going higher, because look, there was a buy order right here and we did not go higher. So I'm not just like taking a trade based off whether the large order was a buy or a sell and then trying to follow that same direction, because sometimes large orders, like large buyers or large sellers, are getting trapped, and then they also fuel the move to the other direction when they have to get out of it. So what you'd want to do, or what I do, is once a big trade prints, then it's important to wait whatever 5-minute candle that just printed that big order, just wait for it to close. And you want to see whether or not, following that big trade, if we're going to actually continue in that direction or if we're going to not continue in that direction. Because a big trade is essentially, oftentimes, it can be an attempt to move price. Alright, this is the new 4 hour. Let's see what happens right here. the 15 minute. So if we look at the 15 minute, this is looking pretty bullish. If this is not bullish, then we're about to chop right now. Although if I wanted to take a long, I'd want to actually, I would want us to retrace first, because I don't feel comfortable going along with basically no wick on a 1 hour and a 4 hour. Minimum value for big trades for me right now with current market conditions, for MNQ, so that's important. For MNQ, the micros, I have it at 250. Deciding on targets for take profits. Sometimes I'm doing where resting liquidity is sitting. Sometimes I'm doing swing highs or swing lows. That's probably the most common one, is swing highs and swing lows. And then the other time I take profit, sometimes it's based off of PnL, or like today, the reason why I took profit here is because I did understand, like I mentioned earlier, that this is an area where we can potentially come back up. So if I think that it's going to take a lot of selling pressure to break past this stuff, then I'm going to wait. Okay, so you see what's happening right here? We got to wait for this. Or I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out because I don't want to try and anticipate a bunch of sellers coming in. If they come in, great, but I did understand that like this could have been a good entry for long, so if I'm going short, I took TP right here. Because I understood that there's a potential possibility that we snap back up and then go up here to the 350, 360 area. So right here, you got to be careful. We have to wait right now because you got a large seller step in, large buyer step in. We're stalling out. We're not doing anything. It's a brand new 4 hour, brand new 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, whatever, all of it. So we got to just let it do something first. And we're going to try and take this account back into profit. Now, what's going to happen though is like on my next trade, this account has $4,000 of drawdown. So I'll probably risk anywhere from $500 to $700 on my next trade. And if we lose that, we'll be down 12, let's just say 1,200 on the day. Then I would stop. 2 trades, 2 losses, I would just stop. It's not the end of the world. Yesterday we made $2,000, so if we lose 1,200 today, it's okay. It's not ideal, obviously, but it's not the end of the world. As long as the as long as we're still going in like a upwards projection as far as for balance, it's fine. Because it's not like I win every single trade I take. And if you do win every trade you take, teach me, because yeah. But the good thing is that at least we're up on the other accounts we have. So we gotta wait, and we gotta see, what are we gonna do? What I'm hoping is that we don't begin to chop right here, because that would suck, honestly. It would suck because then I won't have an opportunity to try and get back into profit on the day. Alright, so I'm gonna have to wait. This is kind of indecisive right here. But still, I am still watching this level right here with this buyer. This one not so much. This one means more to me because this was the move that is attempting to come back up here to take the highs. Right here was just a little bit of noise, in my opinion. So kind of what I'm thinking right now is we are basically in this range. I need to be prepared for us to stay in this range and potentially chop. Now, there is a chance that we stay above here and we pop back up and we start heading towards 350 or 360. There is a chance too, of course, for both directions, especially when we kind of came down, came back up, and now we're back right where we opened. Keep in mind, this is New York Open, so here we are kind of not really doing much here, so we want to see what happens. If we start to break below this area with some pressure and we close pretty bearish, then I'm again going to be potentially looking for 150, but if that happens, I also need to understand that we may be chopping, and this may never get taken for like an hour, and we just go. So right now, we just have to wait and see. And then whenever we see something that is essentially showing us or giving us a hint on which way the pressure's about to go, then I'm gonna try and essentially ride it. But right now, I have to wait. Stop loss for a long? Well, I don't know right now because there, for me, isn't a setup to go long yet. If, let's just say like this candle were to close right here and you decided to go long and the POC was below the open of this candle, then I'd probably either place, if you want a really tight stop loss, I'd either place it right below this candle wick or below this area. But that's still a pretty tight stop loss, so. And that's not really a trade I'd be comfortable taking. That's why I'm not probably gonna take it. Because look at this, right? Like, look at the 15. We come down, we come all the way back up, and now we're coming down. I'm trying to avoid a barcode, if that makes sense. Because if I take a trade, right, and my targets are outside of this area, like, outside of this area, this is the area that I'm referring to. If my targets are outside of this area, and we're barcoding, you need to be really careful, because even though it looks like, oh, we're breaking past this level, if it closes right here, you might think go short. Well, this can just be a barcode, and then you're just going to get stopped out or hit break even continuously. So we just got to wait. We got 30 seconds left in this 5-minute though. This is looking like it has some momentum, but the 15-minute looks pretty nasty. So I'm less likely to try and attempt another short right now because of what's happening. I'm more likely to just wait. I also want to see how the 15 minutes going to close, because there's 4 minutes left in it. In the last 4 minutes, if we pop back up and create a pretty long wick to the downside and we close up here, or close up here, then I'll be more likely to try and attempt a long position. But if we start closing in here, somewhere in here on the 15 minute, I'm just going to have to sit on my hands and wait and see if we can actually have something happen in the next 40 minutes or whatever that I'd be willing to take a trade on. It is looking pretty strong though for the downside. But if we were trying to go short, the first area that I'd be looking to either move to break even or take a partial would be like 160, 150. So because we're right here, that would be, and where would I put my stop? It's a terrible risk reward. It might move down there, but there's no entry that I see for me to try and chase that. So I may just have to watch it happen. It's looking pretty strong though. I want to see how this 5 minutes is going to close. Alright, we got 40 seconds. We're gonna wait to see what happens here. Again, for the shorts though, we are still also looking at 110 because of that volume imbalance that was created right there on MNQ. Could be a good target. It's not there on NQ, but it's there on MNQ. Alright. I may consider taking a short right here. But it's a difficult place to put a stop. Fuck it. So we'll risk, we'll have to risk like 700 honestly on this trade. And we're gonna be targeting 150 again. So what I'm hoping is that we start pushing past this area with some aggression. If we don't and we start snapping back, then we're probably gonna chop for a little bit. The moment we get below this wick though, I am gonna move this to break even. Especially since I'm already in drawdown. Oh, whoops. Alright, so at this point I'm going to be moving my stop to break even. Because I don't want this to snap back. If it snaps back, it's fine. We'll just wait for another trade. Because what I need to see right now is for it to like flush, and then you're going to see a bunch of highlighted white numbers on the left side. And if we can't get that, then I don't want to... Like, I don't want to see this candle basically flip back to being bullish. I need to see it break with some aggression. Yeah, that's not what we want to see. So we got taken out at break even on that one. It's fine. We'll just wait. It may still go, but I'm in drawdown, so I got to be kind of careful. For footprint, left is the bid, right is the ask. Bid is basically like when people are placing limit orders, or you know. So what we're looking at on a footprint, just so we're clear, is what's been executed. So if we're looking at what's been executed on the left side, if those are bids or people who are looking to buy, the only way those are going to get executed is if somebody sells it to them. So you're looking for, so essentially the left side, to make it very simple, left side is selling, right side is buying. When you're looking at a footprint chart. If you're looking at the DOM, the left side are limit buys, right side is limit sells. But the only way those are going to get filled is if there's a counterparty to that trade. So that's what we're looking at, is what was actually executed on the footprint. So that's why left is sells, right is buys. Yes, sir. If this does break to the downside right now, I was just about to say it's going to happen really fast. But it's just like, it's messing around right here. And it makes me slightly uncomfortable. Especially also being in drawdown. So I gotta wait. the last thing I want to do right now is try and take a trade anticipating we're going to break to the downside and head to 150 and we snap back into this range and just continue consolidating. Because then I'll be down like 1200 and then I'm screwed, so. I'm not screwed, but I'll just stop. I do think though if this does happen, it's gonna happen really quickly. It's gonna take 170, 160, and then all the way to 150. Just like phew. Look at that. Oh, dude, are we really about to consolidate right here? I hope it doesn't. Look at the 15-minute. Check this out. Look at that. That's what I was afraid of. That's why I put it to break even. Now, it may be coming up right here, and then this could be an entry for the shorts, but I do not want to trade when this is happening. It looked good for a second, but now that it's doing this again, now it's become like okay, let's wait. Let's wait until we get out of here. And if we don't get out of here by the time I'm done trading, then I guess I'm just gonna have to take the $500 L on the day, and it is what it is. Because whoever tried to, like, if you took a short, like let's say I took a short, and if you took a short too, and you didn't move it to break even, you would have just gotten wrecked. This thing just came back from my entry, like, I think I entered at 203, 50 points. Because this range right here that we're basically stuck in, we'll call it from here to here, it's basically like 100 points. So this type of price action, when I do trade it, when I notice it's happening, if I decide to take a trade, I'm actually going to move to break even pretty quickly, because this is what I would consider like account killer price action. There's probably a bunch of people who blew their accounts already. An hour in open. Oversizing in a range like this. So yeah, just be patient. You don't have to force anything in here. Yep, hopefully there's someone who takes control of this, because basically when this happens, right, like, okay, like let's look at this on a larger scale of things, right? So in the market, you have two types of markets essentially. You have a balanced market and you have an imbalanced market. And when you have a day like yesterday or a day like Monday, that's an imbalanced market. That's where prices basically moving to then locate fair value. Fair value is when we have something like this or something like this, right? This is where buyers and sellers are basically comfortable in this area. Now, something to note is, let's say we take this as a range from here to here, and we pull this over. So if buyers and sellers felt comfortable in this area, and we consolidated here, then who knows? Maybe they, once we're back up here after CPI, we came back up into this area where it was a fair value for a bit. We can begin to consolidate again, or we can start to break out into becoming an imbalanced market again, and then finding value somewhere up here, finding fair value somewhere up here, or even here, or wherever, right? So you just gotta wait. It does look like we're gonna break out to the upside. I want to see how we have this 15-minute candle closing in 4 minutes. So we want to see how it's gonna close. This can be deleted. This candle, the prior 5-minute, strong, stacked imbalances all throughout the candle. Clusters moving up here. This is showing a pretty strong sign of momentum, bullish momentum. Volume picked up, delta's high. So this is a true attempt here to try and push price higher to 350, 360. Now the only thing is like, okay, well, if we want to trade that, we want to ride it up there, we have to find an entry essentially. Yeah, they are pretty. You gotta zoom in to see it, huh? And sometimes if the ATR is too large, you're gonna be basically looking at it like this, and you can't see jack shit. To be honest, size of my monitors, I can't remember. I do not know. It's probably like if you were to take like a 16-inch laptop and put it side by side, it's basically like the monitor where my footprint's on. It's probably like that, like a rectangle. I don't know how to describe it, dude. But it's a decent sized monitor. It's not massive, but it's not tiny either. All right, here we go. We're attempting to push through now. So we took the wick from before. Now we want to see at this point if we're going to now continue or if we're going to come back. But I think we're going to continue. How many iPhones? Let's check it out. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Probably 10 iPhones. 10 iPhones wide. But then again, I do have an iPhone 13. So I don't know if that changes anything. Alright, so let's see what we're going to do here. We still have a minute left in this candle. You'd want to wait for this candle to close. Nah, dude, I'm poor. I don't have a iPhone Pro Max. We're living in the past. I got a 13 Pro. And also, by the way, again, I gotta say it, just in case, do not take the trades that I take, especially because, well, for one, if I lose money, it's one thing. If you guys lose money based off of my decisions, I don't like it, but there's a delay to this stream, by the way. So when I enter, I mean, if you didn't realize it, when I enter, I'm probably entering and getting a better entry than you, maybe by like 5 seconds or more. And when we're moving around, you know, that can make a pretty big difference. 7 seconds, that's even worse. So yeah, you're looking at a clunky footprint chart. What do you mean? Like What are you using ATAS? All right, let's see. Let's see if we get a strong push right here to 350. We're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. But unfortunately, there's no way for me to enter that. Now, the only thing though is like, what I am looking at, if you were to try and take longs, is I am looking at 360 to 350, and basically, or realistically higher than that, 350 to 375. I'm looking at that almost as like a zone. So I'm not likely to try and take a long right here, because even though you may be able to scalp some low-hanging fruit, it's probably going to be a negative risk to reward if you want an actual reasonable stop loss, which would have to be like down here, dude. So, which would be massive. Alright, so there's about, I think there's like there's 200 contracts sitting here at 350. Probably gonna fill them all right now. Just so you guys can see what I'm looking at, let me draw a zone. 380 to 360. And then also these stacked imbalances. So basically, as we come up into here, I want to see what happens right here. If we blast through this area, then it's possible we're actually going to just run today. Or not run, because we're already moving, but I mean like trending up. Yeah, it does look like it's recovering yesterday's drop. So then if that's the case and we get some strong momentum through your TP, I mean, that's up to you. I don't want to encourage your trade. It depends where you got in from. The highs, another 150 points higher. Why not? If you're in multiple contracts and you're in profit, you can always scale some out and just leave a runner or a couple runners. I'm waiting to see what happens in this area though. Whether or not we're gonna stall out or we're gonna blast through it. So sellers start stepping in, buyers are stepping back in. So there's obviously interest in this area that we have marked out. So we gotta wait and see what happens. Who's gonna win the battle between the buyers and the sellers? One thing to note though is we did kind of snap down to this POC where all the volume was sitting, and then we came right back up. So the only way I would ever consider trying to sell in this area is like if we're trying to push up like this, we come down again pretty hard. Five attempts? Nah, I mean today I'm just giving myself two losing trades. If I have another losing trade, I'm just gonna stop. I'll be down probably $1,000 or $1,200. All right, so we're pushing through this area. There is some. I need to see it like close past it though. There's still 2 minutes left in this. I don't want to see it like come up here, wick, and come down. Five attempts for loss. Are you talking about like if I were to lose 5 times in a row and it blows my account? Oh. I mean, on this account, I'm using 1 to 2 minis, trying to risk like $500 to $700 per trade. So I guess, yeah, if you were to think about it, it's like 5 or 6 trades. And you can definitely lose 5 or 6 trades in a row, but sorry, I'm just watching what's happening right now. You can definitely lose like 5 or 6 trades in a row for sure. I mean, realistically, I am sizing pretty heavy on this 100K account, but the only reason why I'm doing that is because I need to get the balance up. Not necessarily. Sometimes I take more trades. But yeah, no, if I lose another trade today, then today will be 2 trades on this account and done. I did take, because you gotta think about it, I'm not copy trading these. So I took a trade here, that's 1 trade. I took a trade here, that's 2 trades. I took a trade here, that's 3 trades. And if I take another one, which I'm gonna try to, then that's gonna be 4. It kind of varies, but usually around 5 micros for a 50K account. 5 micros, but sometimes I add into winning positions. I never add into losing positions, ever. Actually, sometimes I do. But only if there's a reason to. But usually I add into winning positions, if it makes sense to do so. Okay, so that was a decent close above here, but let's see what happens. Damn, there's really nothing I can do right now. I gotta just kind of sit here. Mm-hmm. You have orders loading up at 4:15, but we don't know if they're gonna stay there or not. Although this week we have had some pretty good moves. I mean, this is a pretty good move here today. Yesterday had a pretty good move too. And Monday. Tuesday was kind of bullshit, but for the week it's been pretty good. A lot of opportunity. But I'll probably see what happens here the next maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and if I don't see anything I like, then I'll just end the day up 680 on that other account, 440 on the other account, and then down 500 on this one. Overall, I would call that a good day, especially if, you know, yesterday we made 2 grand on this account, and if we lose 500 today, it's totally fine. But I'm not gonna sit here and try and force a trade to try and get back into the green, because that's how you end up blowing accounts, honestly. There's always tomorrow. Unless it's Friday, then there's always next week. Not really. Risk to reward. I mean, I try and keep it positive, but I don't have like a fixed risk to reward I go for. Sometimes I do have negative risk to reward, but that's for like certain situations. And other times, you know, like I'm basically just placing my entry or my take profits based on where I think the move can potentially stop or slow down or turn around. And if it happens to be a 5R, if it happens to be a 2R or a 1R, it doesn't really matter as long as it's a profitable trade. The best stories, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell stories though when I'm trying to focus on getting out of drawdown, especially during market open or New York AM session. So like right now it looks like we're coming down a little bit, but I'm not really convinced in any type of short right here. Not yet. Well, if you're missing out on the big moves, are you missing out because your analysis wasn't telling you that it was going to happen, or because you're just not entering the trade? I'm actually going to remove this, and instead I'm going to put something right here. Well, if your analysis is right, but you're just not entering, then just enter the trade, dude. Like, just enter it. Just find an entry and try and enter it. Try and find somewhere you can enter in the trade where you have a stop loss that makes sense, and it's not just purely based off of PnL in the middle of nowhere. And if it happens to be a loss, then it happens to be a loss, but that doesn't mean to necessarily FOMO into trades though, so I hope that's not misunderstood. But yeah, like sometimes you just have to enter the trade. If you're not confident, there's no way you're gonna become confident unless you start entering trades, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to start watching, like, price move around, and then you keep telling yourself, oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. It's like, well, then take the trade. You know? If you truly believe in what your analysis is, and if it's more often right than wrong, just take the trade. If it's a loss, who cares, dude? As long as you just don't oversize and lose more than you mentally. Because mentally, for all of us as a trader, there is a threshold of losses where it becomes really uncomfortable. And that is a danger zone because that causes tilt. So you just need to understand where that is and size accordingly. And don't allow yourself to get into a position where you're going to lose way more than you wanted to lose. Like every time unless I'm full porting, obviously. Well, realistically, every time I enter a trade nowadays, I'm okay with both outcomes. I'm okay if I lose, and if I'm not okay with it, then I shouldn't have sized that heavy, or I shouldn't have even taken that trade. But like earlier when I took this $500 L, it was a setup I thought was decent. I thought I could probably take it. I did go like $500 in profit, but it came back and stopped me out for like $600. But I'm not fazed by that. I really don't care that I'm down $600. Now, if I really cared I was down $600, then I'd probably be over here trying to force something so I'm not down $600. And then if I lose another trade, oh, it's over with. That becomes tilt. Then the account's going to be gone. In footprint, I'm just looking for pressure. So I'm looking for price to decide on a direction, move in that direction, and then I just try and ride the wave, basically. I don't have a footprint course. Although what I might do is I'll make more videos. I'll provide resources for you guys so you can learn while I'm not streaming. But right now I'm trying to focus on payouts. But next year, yeah, definitely, like after the holiday season, I'm gonna start making more content for you guys so that there's more stuff for you guys to watch and hopefully learn from, because there's a lot that I actually look at. It's just kind of hard to explain it. It needs to be explained in detail, and it's also hard to do it when I'm talking right now, but I'm also paying attention to what's happening right now, because I lose my train of thought because I'm basically thinking about two things at the same time. All right, pressure's still bullish for now. But we're approaching the hourly close. And I can't take a long right here because it would be kind of like a subpar trade. It'd be kind of it would be like a low quality trade if I wanted to try and take a long right here. And plus I'd have to wait to see how the 5 minutes going to close. If the POC stays down here, that's a pretty good sign we're going to actually go back up here to the highs, which could be 100 ticks if you try to take it. Realistically though, to be real with you, FP, I mean, I'm really looking at this and this majority of the time, but what the only other two things I'm actually looking at is I'm looking at a chart that I have to the right that you guys can't see, which is just an hourly time frame, but it's the same stuff. It's just an hourly, so I can always be looking at the hourly candle. And then on the right side, it's the same exact chart, but it's just a 15-minute version of it. So, but when it comes to actual like decision making in terms of entries and exits, I'm realistically looking at this chart, the 5-minute footprint, and then this chart, whatever time frame I'm on here. But I just, because if you notice right now, my screen's kind of zoomed in, so I can see what's happening on like a micro level, but I do need to understand where we are in the bigger picture. That's why I have the two other charts that show a higher time frame. But these are the most important. These two charts are the most important to me. All right, we have 10 seconds left. Let's see what happens here. One thing to note though is on the previous 15-minute candle, right at 390, we do have the POC of the other candle of the 15-minute. I think I am gonna try and take a long right here. I have to wait a second. I gotta see what we're gonna do here at this POC, if we're gonna just run through it or not. Because this is also the last five. We're about to have an hourly candle open, and it's gonna do something. I think it's gonna either hit the highs or start retracing back lower. But I gotta wait a second. So what I'm watching specifically right now is this. We'll make it even smaller. Oh, whoops. The SPY order. So it's not respecting this previous candle, so I need to see how this 5-minute candle is going to close if I want to try and take a long. I don't really want shorts right now, to be honest. Until we get lower. But if it's still kind of indecisive, or maybe we start to chop right here at this new hourly open, I'm probably just going to take the L on this account and be up on my other two accounts. So it's just going to be important how this 5-minute candle closes, whether or not I'm going to make a decision. On my other two accounts, I'm 446 on the day for this one. This is the 4th day on this account, so one more day over 150. I'll pull a payout for this one. And then this one from last night, I took a trade at CME Open. It's up 687. So I took a payout on this one yesterday. So we're just trying to build the balance back a little bit. And then here today, I tried to take one trade. It was a short. We went about 100 ticks in profit, and then it came back to my full stop loss. So we're down about 575. But we did make 2,000 yesterday, so it's not the end of the world. If we can keep the losses small and the wins big, I mean, that's ideal, right? You're not going to win every single day. I mean, you might go on a streak, which is great, but you can't just like try and force you to win every single day. Sometimes the opportunities are just not there, you know? You can't try and force it. Because like I said earlier, there's always tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's going to have brand new opportunities, brand new price action. Alright, so I'm still watching this. It's not very convincing right now for either direction. 50Ks are enough. 50Ks are enough. If $50K, if $2,000 a drawdown is not enough for you to like pass the account or pull a payout, then you know what? It just means that you're sizing too heavy. Alright, I'm gonna go long right here, but I'm gonna have a really I'm gonna have a pretty tight stop. I'm looking for the hourly candle to flip bullish, but if it doesn't, then I'll be down on the day, which is not the end of the world. So entry is right here. Stop loss is below this candle. I'm looking for us to hold above this box that I drew out and then go to attack the highs up here. So like that is not good. need to see this hold. I need buyers to start stepping in right now. If we do start getting some buying pressure going higher, I'm actually going to move this to break even. Like once this flips bullish, I'm probably going to move it to break even. Worst case scenario though, if it does just melt right now, I'll be down like $1,100 on the day, $1,200 on the day. Which is fine. Or it's gonna pop up and hit us out at break even if it does come back down. The only thing I'm worried about though is we do have orders right here, so if it wants to fill these orders, it's probably going to do it pretty quickly, and it may actually wick us out and then come back up, but it's fine. To pass evals, it takes me like 2 trades, so 2 days. Maybe 1 day if I took a trade during New York and I took the trade during Asia. Man, there's no sign of any buyers stepping in right now. This is not looking good for me. They're just holding, but they're not pushing. And we're taking these orders, and we may just... I just need this to flip bullish right now. And then I'm going to move to break even relatively quickly, to be honest with you. Because since it's the new hourly candle, we can actually end up retracing. So now we're getting some pressure. I'm moving to break even, or actually a little bit to cover some fees. And then we're going to try and let it run. If it snaps back, it's just going to be the end of the day for me. I'm not giving it a lot of room to breathe, because I would like to see this happen pretty quickly. I can't. Oh, this is going to come back and hit me out right now. This is a good sign for the longs, but it might come back to retest the POC, which is going to take me out for break even. I could trade without footprint, but if I have it, why not use it, right? It's like the main way I actually look to enter trades, so yeah, this might, so what might happen right now is this might come down to retest the POC, which is going to take me out for break even, because my break even is literally right where a potential entry can be. But because it's later into the day, we're heading into lunch, I'm already in drawdown, I'm not going to give it the room. Realistically, the stop could be right here, but we're putting it to break even. I want to see this just push and take the highs right now and put us back up on the day. Take out 400, pop back up above the highs for 46 points. We could realistically try and start covering our losses here, but I ain't a pussy. I'll let it come back. I'll let it come all the way back if it wants to. What I'm gonna do right now, actually, just in case this starts to snap back, is I am gonna put the stop loss, um, right at the open of this 5-minute candle, because if this 5-minute candle flips bearish, it's not gonna be good. I needed to come up. I needed to have some aggression and come up here and take 400 and break the highs. The good news is that realistically, if this does come back to the open of this 5-minute candle, it will be like a $200 profit, which will make our loss even smaller. We'll still be red on the day, but oh shit, it's okay. So we gotta let it breathe. Still looking pretty good for me though. Yeah, this is ATAS right here. Thanks, bro. But, you know, FP, it's not always like that, you know? I go on losing streaks sometimes. But recently, I think I've been doing pretty well. I've been net positive with the firms every month since June. And I'm gonna hope that that continues, so knock on wood. But yeah. Apex, I've used them before, but I'm not a fan of unrealized trailing drawdown. So like, I'll give you an example. We went 600. Let's say we weren't in drawdown right now. I went $600 in profit, and I'm letting it run, right? And I'm put my trailing stop right here. With an unrealized trailing drawdown, I would have just if it comes back to my break even, I would have just lost $400 of available drawdown. Oh, if they're coming out with new eval plans, if they don't do unrealized trailing, I might give them a shot. But also, there's a lot of firms out there. Although I do know that Apex is a fan favorite because it allows you to have 20 accounts and people can take some pretty big payouts. UFO, the reason why I took this trade is because so that's a good close. I think we're going to be fine. The reason why I took this trade is because I was watching an area right here between 360 and 380. And when we entered into that area, we did have buyers and sellers both trying to step in. The buyers ended up winning that auction, or winning the battle, right? So we continued higher, and the new hourly candle opened. And so once we come down to where these buyers started stepping in aggressively, I was watching these 3 candles, and we had the POC close below these 3 candles, meaning that there was a lot of volume or pressure trying to push back below this level. And when it failed and this candle flipped green with a wick below, I entered long, and I'm just trying to target the highs. So it's just for 46 points. Pretty quick trade. And if it does hit, then we'll be up, I think, like $300 on the day, which is better than being $500 in the red. And if it comes back, we'll be down 370 on the day, which is totally manageable. It's fine with me. Yeah, of course. So we're getting some pressure here. We just took the orders out at 400. Now the question is whether or not we're going to actually push higher. You know what? What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that TP, and I'm going to start trailing the stop pretty tight. the moment we take the highs right now, we're gonna wick past it like that. Yep. I need to see us continue though. So just in case this snaps back, I know I think it might actually go higher a little bit, but if not, ooh, you know what? I might have screwed myself doing that. Try and squeeze out a little bit more. All right, we got taken out of that. All right, realistically, I should have made like $50 more, but I got kind of greedy. I wanted to see it go higher. It may go higher, but then I instantly regretted it because I need to make 200 at least on this account for today to count. So yeah, so we went from being down almost $600 on the day to being up 266. This now counts as a winning day, so this is the 4th winning day on this account too, but I need the balance to be higher. So just as a quick recap, just a quick one. On this account, we took a short at CME Open last night. I started with 5 micros and I ended up like adding into a winning trade until I was in 20 micros, which is kind of crazy. But we ended up making about 700, we'll say. And then this morning we took a short position for a quick 180 ticks or whatever. And we're up 446 on this account. And then we, on NQ, we did try and go short. I believe it was right here. We went about 100 ticks in profit, and then it snapped back and hit my full TP, putting me down 600 on the day. We sat here, we waited, all throughout this large pump up. And then once we kind of saw what was happening here, I tried to take advantage of it, and I entered long somewhere right here. And we just targeted the highs. Good thing I got out of that, because this isn't a good sign for the longs if it closes like that, especially since we're 20 seconds away from closing. So all in all, I think today's profits, what would that be? Let me bust out the calculator. 446 plus 687 plus 266, $13.99. So we'll just say $1,400 in profit for the day on the funded accounts. Could have done better, could have done worse. Tomorrow, what the focus is going to be is this account, because tomorrow I need to make at least $200, which would put me at a $2,800 balance, and then I would be able to take a $1,400 payout. And I took a $1,150 payout yesterday, so if I can do that, it would be $2,500 in 2 days. We've only spent $700 on prop firms this month, so that would give us a little bit of room to full port some more evals, try and get more funded accounts and more payouts. So thanks for tuning in today. I'm gonna log off. I got some stuff I gotta do, and also I have a YouTube short I gotta make now. But I hope you guys had a good trading day. I hope you guys didn't take any losses that were too large. I hope you ended green, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. I'll hop on a little bit before market open, so subscribe and put on notifications if you want to be here tomorrow. So catch you guys later.